Is there one particular success story that really surprised you or is particularly memorable?
I mean, there's so many. One person put down a deposit on a house. We had, a couple 20-year-olds or 22-year-olds accessing $500,000 million of our funding.
So what is next for Axi Select?
We got something really, really great planned for our top traders beyond $1 million.
Over the past year, we brought to you some incredible conversations with Axi Select traders, people like Kyan, Sophia, and Daniel, who've shared how they grew their account, scaled their trading, and cashed in on some amazing payouts. Those interviews gave us the inside scoop from the trader's perspective, but today, we're flipping the script. Instead of hearing from just one success story, we're talking to the person behind the entire program, the head of Axi Select.
Why are there high watermark levels? There's no benefit to a trader for the high watermark levels. It's another one of the trading on news, trading over weekend, daily drawdown limit rules that are in place, ultimately to hamper the trader. So absolutely, it's imperative for us not to have those in place.
This is the Funded Trader program that's broker powered, just turned 2 years old, already paid out $6.6 million in 2025, and built a reputation as one of the most respected prop opportunities out there, putting trader success at the center of the program. I'm so happy to have Greg on our channel today. Welcome, Greg. We're so excited to hear about what you have to say today.
Thank you, Kathy.
So you said that you're very proud of how different Axi Select is from all the other programs out there. I know one of the most attractive aspects of it is that basically traders trade with real capital from the start. And that's completely different from most prop firms that only funds traders on demo accounts, simulated accounts, and only pay out virtual funds from those accounts. Now, it's real funds, of course, but it's from those virtual accounts. Why do you think this is so important as a part of your offering? And why is it so important for traders?
Yeah, well, I think you look at the whole offering from the beginning, when you look at the not having a registration fee, having a model which doesn't have many rules in terms of trading style, not many rules about, what you can do on a daily basis or what you can do over news or holding over a weekend. We really, to quote you, flipped the script in the sense of how we could change the space. And, real money, it's a natural add-on to our proposition as a broker. We were the first broker to launch any kind of a prop offering. And when we joined the market, we wanted to use our size as a broker to be able to offer the proposition that we have done so, which is a real life trading account. Trades like it's the same account. You can even choose which account at Axi you want, whether it's a standard or a pro. And ultimately, you trade like a normal broker account with our funds that trade on the side and trade parallel. So it is very important for what we do, for being authentic, for being, for traders to get a real life experience about trading with real accounts. Why is it so important? Well, a demo account, as you know, a lot can go wrong, or there's a lot of outside noise that can happen with it because it's not real. You can see issues with latencies. It's sort of often delays in terms of how it functions. You get different fill prices. So it's a completely different game trading on a demo account versus trading on a real life account. And the transition is often quite difficult. There's a lot of people who have joined us from prop firms and they're trading on real life accounts and getting different execution feels. And they almost think the demo is the normal trading experience. So it's completely different. And for transparency and for everything we stand for in terms of integrity, a program that's based for traders, not for speculating, we feel using live account is absolutely the only way to go.
I think you make a really good point, which is that it all centers around authenticity, which is, basically being as transparent and as mirroring what a real account is, which is if you put your money into a real account and a firm truly wants to back you with their capital and is invested in your success, then they're not going to charge you a fee to see how well you do. They're not going to have unusual expectations of, not trading around news releases or not, having specific drawdown levels. They're not going to basically, try to simulate the demo account environment. They want to see how you do in a real live market environment. And I think that's a testament to how invested you are, and making sure that the trader that you have is a trader that can succeed, not only initially, but in the long run, doing the exact same thing they do every single day. And I think, the other thing you touched on is that a lot of prop traders, regardless of who they trade with, they may start with the prop firm and then they eventually will either add on or switch to a broker. And that transition could be a challenge if the terms are different. So setting the terms the same in the beginning, I think, is one of the most important value propositions of Axi Select's program.
And just before we move on from that, I think the thing that you highlighted that was super important. You talk about the fact that it's authentic, and with you really giving traders funds, you're going to use a real life account. If you really invested or want traders to perform for long-term careers, you're going to give them real funds, real trading environment. And look, there's a huge market for various things in this space, and the traditional model there's clearly a big market for, but in my opinion it's very different for people who are looking to speculate as opposed to people who are looking to forge long-term careers. And as a trading program, then using real life accounts to me is imperative.
Now, speaking of long-term success, one of the most important aspects of your program is the edge score and trader statistics. Now, this is very important because this helps traders understand, where they are in their, trading journey, and it also actually helps them to improve. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So again, don't consider ourselves a prop firm at all. Yes, we have an appeal in the prop space or for prop traders, but what's very important for us is the complete funded program, the complete trading experience. One place where you can learn, where you can improve your trading, as well as get the funding. So when it comes to education, it's one of our key pillars in what we do with the Axi Select program. And as you mentioned there, the edge score is certainly one of the tools that we have. And that's the score that we created in-house in order to judge traders' ability, in order to help traders identify areas of strength, areas of weakness, and what they can do to improve their trading. And how it works is divided into 4 key components: risk, experience, skill, and consistency. And you'll get a score for each of the different components, as well as an overall score, which will change on a daily basis depending on how you trade. And then we provide the 3 most important factors that are affecting your score with direct explanations on what you can do to improve your score and ultimately improve your trading. So we're consistently trying to help traders, and the edge score is a very important tool for that. We also have a live exclusive trading room where we do weekly webinars in there. There are professional traders in there who you can ask questions to. There's analysis that's happening on a daily basis in there. And on top of that, there's the webinars all recorded in a library, so you can go back and watch them. There are different strategies and videos on different strategies that common strategies that top traders apply in the market. Again, we're not going to say to you, we're going to make you profitable traders, we're going to make you millions of dollars. That's not how we operate at all. But what we say is, as a company, if we can give you the tools and we can give you the platform, then the rest is up to you. But at least we are equalizing that platform and providing that ability to learn, improve your trading, and of course, have access to funding.
I do want to spend just a little bit more time talking about the edge score, because the edge score is something that some traders might find a little intimidating. But I've spoken to Cayenne, Sophia, Daniel, all of whom who have reached, $1 million in funding. And they have all told me that the edge score, understanding it, using it, watching it, has been a critical part of their overall success. And I really want to stress that, because you said, it's based upon risk, skill, experience, and consistency. And within those, you explain each of those parts and you show how each of them are doing at every point in time. So if you want to get your edge score up, maybe you have to take a little less risk. Maybe you have to be a little bit more consistent. Maybe you have to do something different on a skill basis. But at least the trader knows, what part of the cycle they can actually improve on in order to get that score up. And as a trader myself, the most important aspect of this is that it reinforces good trading practices. This edge score is built by professionals, probably, if you correct me if I'm wrong, from, your brokerage house who've been in this industry for decades. They know what it takes to be a consistently successful trader. So they've built this unique score to basically measure success. And if you take the time as a trader to boost that edge score, not only will you get access to funding and more funding, but you also just become a better trader, period, right?
Absolutely. And to say the common phrase of put your money where your mouth is, we back traders up to $1 million purely based off our edge score and performance. But ultimately, the edge score is the most important component that gives us confidence to give funding to traders. So for us, that's how much we believe in our edge scores. We're prepared to back it. And we have, with 5 traders who received $1 million of our funds, and I could be wrong, I think around 40 or so, or even 50 who have $500,000 of our funds.
So speaking of backing the traders, you had one trader who earned over $108,000 in a single month. Can you share a little bit about that person's story and what it represents for others in the program?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest. I think what it represents is the ability to genuinely earn significant amounts of sums on our program. And with our payout system, it's all automatic. So at the end of the month, you can always see during the month what you owed, and then the money gets paid directly as at the start of the month. But for me, these stories are important because it shows that it's real, it shows what can be achieved. And the trader at the time was at the Pro 500 stage. So if the trader was at the Pro Million stage, it would have been double that, ultimately trading in the exact same manner. But what's so important about the Axi Select program, where we completely differ, is it's not about being funded and evaluation being funded, which is the common, stages we talk about. It's the argument that at every stage there's a benefit on the Axi Select program. So even at the first stage, you get access to the trading room, which is to learn and improve, and the dashboard, whichever the advanced stats. And then we have the other stage, incubation, acceleration stages, before we enter the pro stages. And what I can say is that the most amount of money that we pay clients is actually in incubation and acceleration stages. And it might not be $108,000 a month, but even traders who start, they learn, they're getting access to extra capital, are still seeing a significant amount of making $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a month. Again, that's no registration fee. You're just trading like you're on a normal broker account, and you're still getting paid consistently a certain amount. And obviously not every trader gets paid. There are traders who lose money, there are traders who make money. But the important part of what I'm trying to get at is that, yes, it's obviously great, someone who got paid over $100,000, and there are plenty being paid big sums of money. But also so important to realize is even the ability as a new trader or someone who's, starting out, or perhaps, been trading for a little period, there's still that ability to consistently make returns or to utilize our program and our structure as a launch pad to improve your trading and ultimately receive payouts. So the bigger picture for me is that it's not about that one big sum, but the ability to constantly earn money. And our program, I believe, gives traders that platform, and the rest is up to the trader.
I think that's what every trader wants, which is consistent profits, consistent payouts. And as you said, the profits and payouts are deposited into the trader's account every single month. So it's, positive reinforcement, and it's, pretty much automatic.
Completely automatic, and that's important. And I just want to touch that because we know with this industry, there's been a lot of issues with regards to payout. Firms, I guess it's normally the first sign that there's potential trouble is when there's delayed payouts. And we wanted to be as transparent and allow what we do with that. And we took ourselves out the equation. It's all automatic. You know what your funds are as the markets close, the first of the month, even if it's a public holiday, even if it's a weekend, the funds appear in your trading account.
And I think that transparency, it basically comes from being a brand that's been around for so long. You're not a fly-by-night shop. You've been around for a very long time, and you're really vested in doing what's right for the trader. One thing I found interesting that you just said is that you don't need to be at the Pro M stage, $1 million in funding, in order to make this, something that you can draw some consistent income from. So, what do you think separates those from actually being able to consistently be profitable to those who are still struggling at the onset? And then how they differ from the ones that reach, the pro-am $1 million funding stage?
I've always believed a good trader is a good money manager. And what I mean by that is if you're managing risk and you understand that when you go into trade, you're looking at how much can I lose as opposed to how much I'm going to make from this trade, is the first sort of step in the process. And what I've noticed, again, when we see all the traders who succeed on this program, and you've interviewed a few of our top traders, it's a similar mindset. They're always managing risk. They're always looking after their account and moving, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and understanding that's how markets work, as opposed to losing their cool, placing huge trades. They're managing their size. They're managing the whole step of the process. It's very methodical. It's very much the same message from all of them. Now, their trading styles all differ. Some are mechanical. Some, will trade manually. Others use their EAs. They use their bots, which obviously becoming more and more common. But the one common thread is they all manage risk, and they understand you're not going to win every day, and understand how to keep their emotions in check. And those are the two, for me, the most important things in trading. And I've seen the same thing when I look at our top traders, or the traders who've had the most success on the program. Very, very similar when it comes to that mindset.
You dropped a little nugget there where you said that it's becoming increasingly popular for traders to use bots on your platform. Many prop firms do not allow traders to use bots on their platform. So I think this is something that's very unique to Axi Select. Can you talk a little bit about why you didn't think that restriction was necessary?
Well, again, we are a real broker, and ultimately that's the way the world of trading is going. So people are using their platforms, using their own EAs, and ultimately, why should we take that away from them? Now, to be, again, transparent as we are, we don't allow traders utilizing somebody else or sharing their EAs. So if we see the same trades, we've got sophisticated software that detects if traders who are all sharing the same EAs, we will call that up and not allow that on our program. But if it's your own EA and you've programmed it, or if you've bought an EA and we don't know about, nobody else on the program has it, I guess we wouldn't know. But ultimately, if it's your own EA and you've programmed it, there's no problem at all to utilize that on the program. And again, why would there be? If we are looking for genuine top traders and to give them that platform, we've got to understand that that's where the market is right now and moving even more in that direction.
So you talked about how these successful traders run the gamut from different products to different indicators to different trading strategies. Is there any type of commonality in terms of the instruments that they trade? Can you, as a new trader, you're looking to start out, can I narrow my subset in order to at least, focus on a couple instruments that can increase my chance of success? Is there do you get more day traders or swing traders? Is there a certain style that works better for being funded and also earning payouts?
No, we get all sorts of styles and different, whether short-term, long-term. The one thing that has surprised me a bit is the instruments traded, which you mentioned at the beginning of the question. There's a very big push towards gold at the moment. And there has been for the last year or for longer, but the last year especially, we've seen gold and Bitcoin become the two most traded instruments on our program. We do see indices and, of course, some of the major FX pairs, but it has taken me by surprise a little bit on how much love there is for the gold market. My background as a precious metals analyst, I was a gold trader for many years, and it wasn't that popular or that loved back then. So it's funny how it's become so popular amongst retail traders to trade gold. So
I have a different question, which is that your capital allocation program is kind of organized separately or different from a lot of prop firms. A lot of prop firms, you buy an evaluation, the X amount is the amount you're trading with as it's deposited in your account. With Axi Select's program, the trader trades their own broker account, which they can withdraw, do whatever they want with, and then you have a separate capital allocation account. I've spoken to some traders who've told me that this is actually very psychologically beneficial because they can focus on whatever smaller amount that they have while also trading maybe up to $500,000, $1 million, and they don't have to be hobbled mentally by that large number. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So when we set up Axi Select, we wanted to position ourselves as a better alternative in the prop firm space, a more trader-centric alternative, but we also wanted to change the broker space. And in order to create a product that allowed us to have that in both space, and I'm just focused on the broker space now, we wanted to allow the trader who trade at brokers to trade in the exact same manner as they trade their broker account, with the added benefit of an account that trades alongside them. So I've seen a couple comments recently which were directed towards me, which were basically saying, Axi Select is a program where you just trade normally and you look at the end of the month, you see what you get paid into your account, and that's the bonus because you still get to keep the money you make in your Axi Select account. So we are often seen like that. That's why there's been a big influx in terms of traders from other brokers who have been joining us, as opposed to when we launched, it was very much about traders from prop firms. Because essentially, as you point out, as it works is you trade your normal broker account as you do real life broker account that you choose, and you can have a look at an account that trades with a multiple of our funds. So, pick a stage. At the acceleration stage, if you have $4,000 of your own funds, we have $100,000 of our funds. So if you make $1,000 in a month, your account goes to $5,000 plus the, at 25 to 1, or plus the $100,000 of our money that you make, you're looking at that 10 times, you get to keep the balance. So it's quite significant in that sense. And as a trader, you don't need to worry about that. You need to worry about your own trading account. Easier said than done, I assume, when you've got $1 million especially, and the size is significantly different. But it's very important why we set up like that. And from a trading psychology perspective, as you point out, you don't need to focus on that if you want. You could try switch it off and just focus on your own account.
And also, one of the most important things is your maximum loss. Your maximum loss is based upon the equity on your account, and there's no high watermark. Am I correct?
Absolutely. Again, why are there high watermark levels? There's no benefit to a trader for the high watermark levels. It's another one of the trading on news, trading over weekend, daily drawdown limit rules that are in place, ultimately to hamper the trader. So absolutely, it's imperative for us not to have those in place. What we do though, to be fair, is if you choose to receive a payout at the end of the month and you owed the money. So as I said, if you have no positions open in a month, it's paid automatically. Then what happens is the funds do reset our funds, and then the multiplier is reworked out. At the same time, if you don't want to receive a payout and you want to keep everything status quo, you just leave a position open at the month end, and so the whole balance leaves. Again, you got the flexibility to manage the account on how you want it. If you wanted to reset or if you wanted to build, completely up to the trader. The choice is theirs.
So if I like the fact that there's no evaluation fee, there's very limited restrictions, limited to no restrictions. I can trade my robot. I can hold my positions over the weekend. I don't have to worry about high watermarks. I have tools at my disposal like the Edge score to help me learn how to be a better trader. I want to trade with a firm that's been around, backed by a company that's been around for a long time, that's broker powered. What does the first 30 days inside Axi Select look like for me as a new trader?
Well, the first thing is getting around and understanding it. And because of the nature of it, I'm the first to say it is a little complicated. And it can be daunting at first for some traders. Now, we've been trying our best to simplify the message and to create that process as smooth as possible. But naturally, when we're giving funds up to $1 million where traders can keep 80% of it and it's free to join, there are going to be quite a few nuances in the sense. And it's very important for us that as a trader, you don't get overwhelmed by that and you do understand that. So what you can expect is to place 20 trades in order to get an edge score. And that's the first score that you'll see is after 20 trades. And if it's above 50 and you have $500 into your account, you then qualify for the program, which is the seed stage of the program. And you'll be able to see an advanced dashboard, which will explain your progress, what you need to progress to the next stage, as well as advanced stats. You then get access to the trading room, invites to the webinars. So you become part of the community, which is very important. We have that community feel about us. We want to build. It's not about competing against other traders, but it's about helping and working with each other. So it's very important to me and the trading, the Axi Select community, the Axi Select team, should I say, the community feel and being able to pull in the same direction. And you should feel that as you join the trading room, and then you'll get all the information, and you'll get this. Hopefully, we've got a lot of material in terms of videos and content. But today's day and age, I'm not quite sure how many people listen to it or read it. Less than should, probably. But it's you get that feel that we are very different from the outset, and that's again something that we pride ourselves on.
So if I was going to rephrase this, would you say that basically the first 30 days at Axi Select is all about learning the program, learning how the program works, learning how you are as a trader by placing the first 20 trades, seeing the advanced dashboard, seeing your edge score, and then figuring out how to improve your trading in order to get that number higher and access to better funding. And you provide the support through this trading community, through the webinars, to help them understand every aspect of the Axi Select program. But the first 30 days is really the learning process, because a trader coming to Axi Select should be thinking about the long term, should be thinking about this, not just, the first 20, 30 days, but how to become a consistent trader and how to utilize Axi Select to help them, grow their funding and grow their accounts alongside with it.
Yeah, there's a great message in that, is that if you're looking for a quick buck, or you're looking to turn short amount of money to big money very quickly, then there are more suitable programs out there than Axi Select. And you got to appreciate it is a longer term play, it is a longer term program, because it's a real trading program. But we do get traders of all levels. We do get very experienced and, well-established traders who will join us. Then it's less about, a lot of the holding hands and the assistance and the support. But yes, we get new traders. We get, traders who are kind of in between strategies, and that support network is there. The education is there and consistently improving. We do plan to invest and, a lot of time and resources into improving it consistently. It's something, as I said to the beginning, one of our pillars. Education, improving traders is one of the absolute pillars of the Axi Select program. So we're not just a funded program or funding program. We do make sure that we hold high level in terms of education, and it's something we will continuously work on and improve.
What have you personally learned about traders after running this program for 2 years?
How different everyone is. Again, even the stories that you hear from all the traders. I'm fortunate enough to have met a few of our pro-am traders. We had them in Sydney not that long ago, and also meet traders from various levels. And I think the important part is that everybody's different, and that's what Axi Select is. It allows that platform, or allows an entry into a place that was previously very difficult to enter. If you look at your long-term trading careers or traders, they were often quite a different bunch, and you had to go through certain education, have certain background, and compete for top jobs. Now you get the ability and opportunity to access a program like Axi Select to get $1 million of funding to trade as you will. And naturally, we've seen all sorts of background, all sorts of people. Our traders come, our geographics are completely around the globe in regions that we're allowed to operate in. So it is quite vast, if I'm being honest, in terms of regions, in terms of types of people.
Is there one particular success story that really surprised you or is particularly memorable? Maybe someone who defied your expectations?
There's so many. One person put down a deposit on a house who told me that because of her trading on the Axi Select program. We had a couple 20-year-olds or 22-year-olds accessing $500,000 $1 million of our funding. I don't want to say one. What I will say is that we do have we're very fortunate to have a lot of traders who've told their stories. I know you've interviewed a few. I know internally we do quite a few interviews, and traders who want to tell their story on their program. And it's one of my favorite parts about this is I watch all these interviews, if I'm honest, and I just love to hear the stories. I love to hear how we're changing people's lives and how their lives are better for using Axi Select, and it's very humbling, and it's just it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool what we're doing in that sense.
So we're 2 years in. Where do you see the prop industry going? There's firms that are launching, firms that are disappearing. How does Axi Select navigate this type of landscape?
Well, I think we take ourselves out of that prop firm direct comparison. But I'll answer it for you. The prop firm industry, it still remains very strong. You still see a huge demand for the prop firm industry. It's only continued to grow. How it will look going forward, I think it's inevitable. There are going to be significant changes. There have been, already a lot of changes. There's a big push at the moment for self-regulatory, and, regulations are probably the hottest topic in the space right now. There does need to be change in terms of alignment or in terms of how the structure works, but there's going to be a market for it, in my opinion, and I do foresee it staying in the long run. In terms of Axi Select, like I said, we do offer a proposition for prop traders, but we see ourselves very much as a complete funding program, and something that we're looking to do at the moment is kind of really explain how it works. Because when you see how the program works, it becomes very appealing for traders and brokers, and we're trying to revolutionize the broking space at the same time. And our message is quite strong in that sense. Besides all the educational tools that we offer, the actual trading experience is trading a normal broker account with the prop firm or with the funds that go with it as well for the trader. So I'm not quite sure that answers your question or not.
No, it's very good. And the last question. So you're 2 years in. You talked about revolutionizing the prop offering, the prop space. You talked about revolutionizing the brokerage space by basically offering capital allocation for anyone who has a broker account and qualifies if they want to. So what is next for Axi Select? What are your new goals? Are there new features that traders should be excited that is coming? What are you doing to make the whole experience and the industry better?
Absolutely. So we launched MT5 today, actually. So that's what's been in the works for some time. We're going to keep improving our education. We've got a few new features coming, or a few new changes coming to the way we provide the education. I can't touch on it just yet because it's something quite big. We're busy planning in the final stages of. Hopefully we'll be able to provide some good news on it soon. In terms of the dashboard, we're well underway to improving that, to make it a lot more interactive, to provide a lot more information and details to the trader. So that's constantly something we're working on. But we've just started development on a brand new dashboard in that sense, which I think is going to be really exciting. It's also going to include some interesting calculators as well to help traders better understand, but also to better work the way around the beginning stages, as we touched on, which can be a little bit daunting, to be able to help them through that. I will leave you with a bit of a cliffhanger. We got something really, really great planned for our top traders beyond $1 million. There's something we're looking into in terms of more in a long-term career proposal on top of the $1 million. It's something that we are working on. But I'm not going to give it away just yet. It is something that I think will really change how the whole industry is viewed in that sense. I think it's something big coming in that space.
Well, I can't wait to hear more about it. Thank you so much, Greg, for joining me today. If you're interested in Axi Select, where there's no evaluation fees, just start with a $500 deposit into your own broker account, which you can withdraw, trade, do whatever you want with. Check out Axi Select. It's really a revolutionary program that's designed for traders and for the benefit of traders and the long-term success. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next video.